Hey, how's everybody doing? Welcome to Talking Shit. And today we about to do the Reddit response. I'm about to change the name to the show, probably the Story Time with Manic. People feeling your vibe, man. They were like, "Hey, man, he reads some stories well, man. You put your energy in them."
Oh man, don't boost my ego up. It's already too big.
It sure is. But nah, they feeling you though, man. I got to give you props when props is due. So let me go ahead
Hey,
and
I
pull it up.
appreciate that, man.
Yeah, a few people hit me up. They're like, "Man, tell Manny he be doing a good job on those." But let me go ahead and pull this up. Let me know if you're good to go and start whenever you're ready. Do your thing.
Yeah. For all the people out there watching, the key is not reading this in advance, so you can just enjoy the information as it's flowing. All right, here we go. Now you put the pressure on me. Uh, all right. Am I too emotional? Male, 33. Wife is female, 31. My wife has brought up her past boyfriend about 3 times in the last 4 months and keeps reminiscing about him. My wife, female 31, and I were having a conversation last night, and she randomly mentioned her past boyfriend, who she has mentioned a few times before. She was reminiscing on an April Fool's joke they did back in college, and I laughed with her and thought it was kind of funny. I said it seemed like they had a good relationship because she has a lot of fond memories of him, and she agreed and proceeds to list the qualities he had, and I agreed. He sounded like a great guy. Where I kind of fell off was when this dude can't spell. Where I kind of fell off was when she said something like, "When I think of him, I really hope our daughter's name has a boyfriend like him. He treated me really well. He was fun, funny, just a great guy, and we had such a good relationship, etc." Now, for context and background, she also brought this same boyfriend up in a fight early in our earlier years, saying sex was better with him than with me. We've kind of worked on that, but it's still a sore spot nonetheless. Up until this point of the conversation, I didn't think anything of it, but I would want my daughter to be with a guy like me. But what I wanted, but I would want my daughter to be with a guy like me. I firmly believe I'm a solid guy and try to lead a life that would make my sons and daughters proud. I didn't say anything, but I would have hoped she would have said a boyfriend like me. I know that she probably meant, but it didn't sit right with me, especially given some of her past comments. I am overly sensitive. Am I overly sensitive? Or was that a bit much on her end to make a comment? I can almost guarantee she would have been livid if I'd said something along the lines of wishing my sons has a girlfriend like one of my exes.
Mm. You know the funny thing, before you got to that second paragraph, I was like, that must have been that dude was probably the best that she ever had or something for her to be
Yeah,
like, oh shit, yeah.
yeah. So
But with your
fixated on them.
yeah. So what's your take? You think he's too emotional in this
No,
case?
no, not at all. I think that it's dope that his wife is able to share, her authentic feelings, but it's disrespectful as hell. Like it just shows you, um, I mean, she's talking about this guy and she's married to him. So, um, but I mean, she's being honest. She's being honest. So I gotta respect her honesty. But I mean, it is disrespectful to him as a man, as a husband, as a father, for her to be fantasizing about another man.
Nah, I totally agree. Am I too emotional?
You said, why'd you say? You said, hey man,
Because
I
you're
said
like,
she's honest. I respect her honesty. I respect her
yeah, but
honesty.
no, I agree. There should be an openness But this ain't about honesty. This is about disrespect, like you kind of mentioned. And then also like just to tackle his question, am I too emotional? No, you're too much of a pussy. And let me explain. It's like in your early years, saying sex was better with him than me, like in a fight, she brings that up to you. Like, man, you was gone then. You know what I'm saying? So, like, okay, you let that bypass. And not to say, like, hey, man, there's gonna be somebody that's better than you, but to use it as a argument, tool or something to get at somebody, that's just blatant. You don't never do no comparisons. Like he kind of mentioned at the end, if I would say something to her in that manner, it would have been a wrap. So it's just like that was X number one. And so I would have been out the door at that moment. But even after a situation like that, she keeps bringing them up. Yeah, she mentally, she ain't let that go. So yeah, you
Yeah.
you second place, homie. Like she talk about like she was her your y'all daughter, that you it's just way over the top disrespect. You just your kids and stuff, you just don't do stuff like that. I could imagine like flipping it around where I'm in that scenario, I'm doing that to somebody else. So that's what I'm saying. It's almost to the point where it seems like she's just like, you know what? Let me push his buttons to see if this motherfucker would leave or something. Because I mean, you just talking to somebody like this, it's almost like she's trying to push him away. Like, man, get it. Would you just take the hint and leave so I could go ahead and call this dude up that I've been like fascinated over for all these years, so I could hit him up and not feel guilty about it? So yeah,
Yeah.
nah, this is definitely messed up.
Yeah. Definitely disrespectful. And I mean, but I mean, he's inviting it, you know, having these conversations. And, by the time I get like mentioning like a joke that they did, but if she's bringing him up, you know, on multiple occasions, at some point he needs to man up and say, "Hey, I don't want to talk about that, dude. I don't care." I mean, if he doesn't care, I mean, he wants to listen to it, that's on him, to taking that information. It's like one of those things. It's like, do you want to know? I'm sure he doesn't. But if he does, then you gotta. She's being honest with you. You gotta take it all. If you ask her for the truth and she gives it to you, you gotta understand. Can you handle it? So, um, but I don't think he's definitely not being overly sensitive, but she is being overly disrespectful. And it's not going to stop here. It's just going to escalate and get further and further because I feel like based on what he's saying about her is that because they have kids together, and I caught there's two sons or at least two boys because he said that will make my sons and daughter proud and one daughter. So we're dealing with at least three kids here. So that means they've probably been married for a little while. And I think the way that this was worded is like she's like escalating up, talking about her ex,
Yeah,
kind
that's what
of.
I'm getting.
So it's just like she's pushing those boundaries. She's pushing your limits. And if you just sit there and just take it, she's going to keep going and going further until she gets a reaction out of you. And, she's kind of shit testing you right now. And it's just like, I'm not a fan of doing that in a marriage because, you can do that in the girlfriend stage, the boyfriend girlfriend stage, because you don't know what you're getting into. You're still learning the person. But the fact that she's shit testing you like this and y'all married, this is completely unacceptable. So, um, he's not being overly sensitive. He's probably being, like you said, uh, too weak, and too scared. Um, so he needs to just man the fuck up, grab his balls, and you know, set the standard of what he's willing to, talk about. Be a man about it. Like if she's not okay with it, and she says, "Well, I'm going to keep talking about him," it's like, "Hey, well, I'm going to stop listening." You know. Uh, so I mean, maybe she's looking for that type of reaction. I don't know what she's on, but Shorty is super disrespectful.
Yeah, she wants out. That's what I'm kind of getting from her, where she's just like, she was with him for the convenience type of thing.
Mhm.
Like this the dude she pretty much settled for. That's the vibes I'm getting. Like I don't really like him
Yeah,
like that, but like you said, we have the kids and the family, so I don't want to look like the bad guy in this case and like leave him. But let me push him towards that. I'm telling you, I
yeah.
think that's what it is. Cause
Oh yeah, yeah. Nah, that's
yeah,
that's
that's
that's a
what
good
I think.
point.
She just, how people just don't want to leave it. They need that like excuse, like, oh, he did this,
He
so it's like
yelled at me.
escalate him up. But nah, he just needs to move on, honestly. And I get it. It's like, man, you got your family and stuff, but what she's kind of showing is just, you started off wrong where you allowed that stuff when she mentioned a boyfriend early in the process in that manner, like when y'all had an argument. Then now she's keep on bringing them up, and now she's doing the kid comparisons. Oh, I wish my daughter would, it's just like, okay, now you bringing in the my kids, like the ones I'm contributing for, and it's like, nah, that's just way over the top disrespect. Like, reduce her down to side chick status. you you got to move on from this one, because yeah, that when you start like messing with the kids and all that comparison, yeah, that's when it's done. She don't like you. This is no longer a shit test. Like I said, this is like, please leave me so I could go holler at this dude. That's what she
Mhm.
wants. Yeah, man, make her wishes come true. God damn it. She'll be. I'll set her ass up a match and eHarmony account. Like, look, it's a wrap. Like, you might as well move on at this point. But all right, man. Anything else? We'll go ahead and shut this one down. But all right,
You're not.
y'all.
Well,
Oh,
I'll
go ahead.
say, just reiterating, you're not overly sensitive. You just need to
You
find
just
your
weak than a
balls.
motherfucker.
Yeah, you need to find your balls and have that conversation and let her know how unacceptable it is. Don't talk about your feelings or how it makes you feel. Just talk about the facts. It's disrespectful to be, you know, referencing a dude of your past. And she's going to understand because you just flip it back on her like you already know the logic. Hey, how would you feel if I told you my ex such and such did this better than you and did this and was more this and was more understanding, it was more, respectful. Like she's not gonna be a fan of that. She's gonna, well, why don't you go with her? She'll probably do some, flip it back on you. I can't
That's,
believe you're, yeah. So she knows what she's doing, bro. You just have to, take the message and check her on it. Maybe that's all she needs, or maybe, she needs more, to the jerk's point, and, just need you to kind of like start that process so she doesn't feel like the bad girl.
yeah, I don't even think you need to have a conversation. At this point, you need to get in the gym. You need to start working on your appearance, getting yourself in shape if you're not in there. Get your wardrobe game up, because you need to just like end this and hit this dating market, because it's a wrap. Nothing needs to be said, man. Like yeah, she said this too many times. Like, man, y'all at the age where she has enough intellect, and people know what to say and what not to say. So by her pushing these buttons and stuff, like I said, crossing the boundaries, like doing the comparisons with the kids and putting them in like weird little scenarios. Oh, I wish my daughter would have a man like, man, wrap this shit up, man. I'm telling you, it ain't even worth a conversation at that point. You just need to come to her like I said, get you a good 4 months when you hit this gym and be like, look, I'm just gonna go ahead and move on. You need to tell her what you're gonna do, not no conversations. Be like, look, I got a place over there I'm looking at. I'm moving on. I think you need to go and explore. Maybe holler at homeboy. It seemed like you like him like that, and let's be cordial. Like that's how the conversation should go. Like, but all right, y'all, we out of here. Peace. Story time with Manic. All
Peace,
right.
peace, peace, peace.